Hi everyone and welcome to the podcast. Today is sponsored by the LLB Project. It's your birthright, helping the average Joes with how to live a better life each day and other important topics about creating a life you can be happy with. You can check out the podcast on YouTube, you can check it out on iTunes or Spotify, or I'm going to be posting a blog about this episode as well on my website. All the links and everything will be in the description, and they'll also be in the comments and stuff like that. So if you're watching on YouTube or around any of my social medias, please subscribe, hit the like button right now, which is down in this bottom corner. Put a review or a comment and share this with your friends and family. It will really help me out and grow the channel. If you can support your boy, I'll be appreciative of it. Now today's title of the episode is, do you know how hard it is to overcome obstacles? Hi, my name is Paul Drake, and today I'm talking about how to focus on what you want and just go for it, including about your illnesses. So, let's get on with it. I'm currently on a quest to help the average Joes like me how to reconnect with yourself and find happiness back in your life without worrying about other people's judgments, so you know how to live, well, a better life each day. Thanks for tuning in today. I appreciate you being here. Let's jump into it. Now, attention all you average Joe people. In today's episode, we're going to learn how to succeed with living with an illness. I personally have ulcerative colitis and will be sharing some of my experiences and how I've managed to adapt and get through. Hope it helps you out with whatever obstacles and stuff you've got in your life and how you can overcome certain aspects of your life that you're not truly happy about. Now, you can use the techniques in this episode to help you live happy, help you break away from the victim mentality, and even move you forward to start living again. As a special bonus, I'll reveal at the end of the podcast how to get a free course that will help you big time to transform your life to becoming the best self. Now, in fact, here's some sample questions of today's podcast. You'll find out when I got ill, what setbacks I've had over the years, what kind of things have I done, experienced fighting the illness, and was I thinking in this same sort of mentality when I first got diagnosed. And there's going to be much, much more about how you can take the steps to achieving your desires. Now stay tuned for this spit it out. Stay tuned for this breakthrough podcast that will show you exactly how to focus on what you want and just get you living okay and appreciating yourself. Now, when did I first get ill? I got ulcerative colitis, it must be about 6 years ago now. Now, when I first got it, it's kind of a shock. There's similar symptoms to like bowel cancer or prostate cancer. What happens is you end up bleeding quite a lot from places that aren't very pleasant. So I remember it quite well, actually. I went to the hospital, to the doctors. There you are, you know what you do, sitting in the doctors thinking, okay, what thing is going to read? And bang, straight in front of me, there was this thing about cancer. Now, this was even talking about bowel cancer itself. And it told you all the symptoms, and it kind of, my scale from okay to what the hell is happening went from down here all the way up here. So it was kind of a bit of a shock. I went in to see the doctor. I told him my symptoms. They said, okay, they didn't seem very worried, to be fair, which kind of put me at ease. They said, go away, take this medication, and you'll have to get some bloods done. So I went and got the bloods done, went home, didn't think anything of it. So now the symptoms were quite bad, and it must have been about 2 weeks later. Now, symptoms with ulcerative colitis, if you don't take the medication to ease it off or anything like that, it takes a turn for the worst every day. It just gets worse and worse and worse. So after about 2 weeks, I was a lot worse. I was going to a lot more, losing a lot more blood. I was thinking, what's going on here? Why haven't the doctors got back to me? Well, the thing was, they got the blood results back, but because they thought it wasn't, let's say, it wasn't as high on the inflammation scale as they would like, they didn't think anything of it, so they didn't even ring me back. So I booked another appointment, Went and then they booked an appointment with the hospital. That's when we got the full scope, when I ended up with a colonoscopy. And yeah, the woman said this is probably one of the worst bowels I've seen in a long time with the inflammation. I thought, oh, well, great. So I've been suffering with this for weeks and weeks. So by the time I actually finished the doctor's and got an appointment, it was like another 4 weeks later. So it were bad. Yeah, I remember that to this day, because they thought the inflammation in my blood wasn't very good, or very high, should I say. They thought, oh, it wasn't too bad, so I was alright. So check up with your doctors, because they necessarily don't get things right. So keep checking up. Now, have I had any setbacks over the years? Well, yes, because I've tried loads of medications, and there's a couple of serious ones that ended up going on. One, well, I haven't tried the one yet, but it's called Humira. They inject it in your stomach every 2 weeks. This is supposed to prevent you from having a flare-up, but the side effects are quite severe. You can get rare skin cancers, leukemia. You can get some serious side effects to it. Now, the setback is every time you have a flare-up, you have to go on a thing called prednisolone, which is a steroid, which I don't know if anyone's been on steroids, but they make you feel like absolutely crap. At the minute, I'm currently having a flare-up. That is why I'm talking to you about this today. Because I'm on steroids, and they make you feel like the world is going to end. When you take them, they make you feel depressed. Not every day, obviously. But some days, like yesterday, for example, I woke up and it felt like this dark cloud were over the top of me. Like, it was just everything closing in on me, and I could not get happy. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want to put my best foot forward, because these tablets are making me so depressed. But because I've been on them previously, I knew how to handle it. I kind of just worked through it, tried to do my best, tried to be a bit more positive, tried to socialize still, try and play with the kids, try and do stuff just a little bit, just to make sure that I wasn't getting sucked into this vast vortex of misery and depression, because I already experienced them before. Now, the things I've done over the course of the last few years, as I say, I've tried all these medications. Because I'm a personal trainer as well, I know about nutrition, so I've tried all sorts of different diets. I've tried higher fat diets, lower carb, higher carb, lower fat. I've tried paleo. I'm trying vegan at the minute. I am very comfortable in trying new things to help me sort my bowels out, because it's going to be a lifelong condition, and I don't want to be on medication. So I've taken it on myself to come off the Humira, and at the minute I'm on the steroids just to try and reduce the inflammation. But as soon as that's finished, I'm hoping that with the diet and everything else, with meditation, with creative visualization, that over the time I can heal my own body, so then I don't have to keep taking these drugs, because at the end of the day, the drugs are drugs that I don't want in my body. Now, what I can honestly say is, if you have an illness that stops you from doing things that you'd love to do, I understand how it can be demoralizing. It can bring your spirits down. It can make you feel worthless, like your life is worthless. Like, you can think to yourself, what is the point of carrying on when I can't do all this? But I'm going to give a few examples later on in this episode of people who have overcome their illnesses, overcome their disabilities, overcome their life challenges, and became amazing people. So just stay tuned in later for that. Now, when I first got diagnosed, I didn't really think too much into it. Like, I'm one of these people that doesn't overthink stuff like that. I'll overthink the small stuff, which is petty and stupid. You know, when someone's said something to me and I overthink and think, well, what they said that for? Does it mean? But when it comes to like the illness, I didn't actually worry too much about it, because I thought I'm getting the medication and everything that I need, so I'll eventually be able to overcome this thing and get over it. Now, let's get on with some necessary skills. The first skill every average Joe needs when it comes to creating happiness is to find perspective. This is the most important. Now, I knew I had ulcerative colitis, and I knew that it was going to be this lifelong disease, but I knew that I could get through it, and I had come to the realization that it wasn't going to stop me from being the person I wanted to be. It wasn't going to stop me from living my life how it usually was. Now, once you put things into perspective, what you need to do then is try and find the best way to develop what things you want in your life to create in happiness. Now, you've got your illness, you've got disability. That's fine, you've accepted that. Now it's time to start creating happiness back into your life. First thing you should do is start writing things down. I want you to write down a list of all the things that you're happy doing in your life that creates happiness, and I want you to do everything in your life that creates misery and happiness. Because once you get the both next to each other, you can kind of see if they intertwine with each other and which ones on this side, with the happy side, intertwine with the things on the unhappy side. You need to then get both sides, start doing more of the happy side, and then start doing less of the unhappy side. I know it seems very simple, but we get caught up in doing stuff that we don't actually really enjoy doing. So if we can start doing more, we've got to do a few of the stuff that we don't enjoy. Like, I hate cleaning up. I hate just doing meaningless tasks that I know that it's wasting my time doing. But until I can pay someone to do it, I am just going to have to do it myself. Simple as that. But if you know that's one of the things that you don't want to do, then you can start planning yourself to do all the things that you are happy with. And then over time, if you want to make money from doing that, and you can start improving your life from doing that, then when it comes to that side, you can start delegating and pushing that off to other people. Now, is there any tools or anything out there that you can use? Now, there is a thing on WikiHow, wikihow.com, which there's like a step-by-step thing, how to set like goals and stuff like that. But it's up to you how you want to do it. There is other things out there, happiness tests and things like that, but we don't really need to do stuff like that. It's just about creating the life that you want by choosing what you're happy with. Now, this will take maybe about 15 to 20 minutes, which isn't too bad of a time really to figure out what you really want from life and what makes you happy and what doesn't make you happy. But if you want to break it down over a few days and you really want to get the list like as many as you possibly can, just take a few minutes every day, write a few down, and then keep going from there. Now, the second critical skill to creating happiness for every average Joe that needs to develop how to focus on what you want and just go for it is by figuring out your life goals. Now, the one important thing you need to remember here is you don't want to be lying on your deathbed and regretting your whole life. What I mean by that is there's things in my life that I know I'm not proud of. When I was younger, about 14, I started smoking marijuana, started smoking weed, and what they do say, it is a gateway to other drugs, and I totally agree with that, because then I started doing pills, started doing amphetamines, started doing cocaine. So that wasn't a proud moment of my life. I must have did it for a few years, about 4 years, because then I moved from down south all the way up north, and I kind of come off everything and sorted out my life. But that there is an area in my life I can't change, but I can learn from it. I can learn from it and know that I never want to go down that route again. I never want to be out of control and not be able to dictate where I'm going in my life. So I'm using it as a learning curve. But there's obviously areas in your life that you can regret, but you need to use them as a learning curve to know where you want to go from there. Because don't dwell on the past, because then you're just living in the emotions of the past, which I've talked about in other episodes. If you're living in the emotions of the past, then you can never create the future that you want, because you're just living by the same negative, bad emotions of the past. Now, the best way to not live a life of regret, basically, is to write another list. I love lists. You write them down of what you want to achieve in your life. Now, with this, just be as broad as you possibly want to be. There's nothing stopping you from writing absolutely anything in your life. Every single last thing that you want to do, or that you want to develop in your life, or anything that you want to improve, put down on this list, because this is going to be your main focus of achieving greatness, because you are starting to work towards now things that you want to make you better, make you happy, make you live a life without regret. Then once you've wrote down your list again, 15, 20 minutes, you can take even longer, you can take as long as you want. There's no right or wrong answers. Next, I want you to put numbers between 1 and 10 to how important it actually is. So 1 being not very good, 10 being now. So 1, it's not really that important now, 10 being absolutely amazingly important. Now I did this about 6 months ago, something like that, and there's things on the list that I wouldn't have even thought about. Like, I wanted to become better at communicating, I wanted to become better at sales, things like that would help me improve, but I didn't realise how important they were to me until I started writing down the list. And when I wrote down the list and realised they are big aspects of me creating a better life for myself, they become a 10, and that was a surprise to me, because it's never something that I've really ever thought I'd really need in life. Now, tools again, if you go to that WickedHow, this will help you create like goals. WickedHow.com, how to create life goals. It's a good way to find out if you're doing it in the right process, but as I say, it's more about, at this stage, just trying to figure out what areas of your life that you want to improve on, which direction do you want to go towards, and figuring out, this is the person I want to be. Now, how long does it take to get started in this area and start seeing results? Now, this itself will start increasing your happiness straight away. Now, there's nothing better than knowing where you want to be in life. How many times have you thought to yourself, I don't know where I'm going, I feel lost, I feel like everything's getting on top of me, I feel stuck, I feel trapped and just frustrated inside. You just feel like, I need to do something with my life. Well, this is a great way to start tackling the obstacles in your way, because you're taking the first step to overcoming them by putting them all down on a piece of paper. Then you can start making a plan from there how to actually achieve them. If you know what you want, you can just Google it, YouTube it. If you say, I want to learn how to become a ballroom dancer, Google it, YouTube it. It is that simple. And then you can start doing courses, start working towards it. It's not hard these days. Everyone's got the internet at their fingers, and they forget that it's not about, searching cute cat movies, which seems to be on everyone's topic for some reason. Look for something that's more improving and better on your life. Now, if you start feeling stuck, the best way to get unstuck is don't be harsh on yourself. None of your goals are stupid. Honestly, if you feel stuck or don't know what I want, just put anything. It can even include the things that make you happy. They sort of intertwine anyway. The things that make you happy is your goals anyway. So you can look at your happiness and then think, right, in fact, I want to do that. So in fact, I'll put that as a goal. It's simple as that. Now, how has my illness affected me creating happiness? As I was talking earlier about the steroids, that there is kind of, it puts it down on the days where I want to be better and doing stuff, because it kind of brings me back in my shell and I can't really do much. Now, the perfect mindset when you're ill is just by trying to break down the limiting beliefs that you can still do stuff, you can still become great. I don't know how severe your illnesses or disabilities are, but there are people out there that have overcome the obstacles, that have really pushed themselves and really focused on themselves to create the best life they can. Now, one of these people, very famous, called Stephen Hawking. Now, he was diagnosed with ALS at age 21 and was only given 2 years left to live. The man died at 76. He literally left him paralysed from the neck down. For the last 30 years of his life, he was paralysed from the neck down. Now, running up to then, it was obviously getting worse and worse and worse. There were days he couldn't walk. There was days that he couldn't get out of bed. But the man didn't stop. He's renowned and known for all his amazing work in science and neurology and stuff like that. So he is just a person who never let his illness take over. He knew he was getting ill. He accepted the fact he was ill. But did he roll down and let it take over? No. The man went from being diagnosed at 21, only having 2 years left, and died at 76. And the amount of work he did was just amazing. If it weren't for Stephen Hawking, we wouldn't have most of the science breakthroughs that we've had. Also, another person who's a bit more modern, Daniel Radcliffe. Not many people knew this. The person who played Harry Potter suffers from dyspraxia, which means he has problems that impair him to organize all of his movements. So he actually has a disability that affects the way he moves, the way he does stuff. But yet, he's famous. He's gone out acting. He's done all the things that he wanted to achieve because that's something that he wanted to do in his life, and he weren't going to let his illness dictate what he can and can't do for the rest of his life. So it was about creating that mindset about what you want and how to do it. There's nothing, until you put your mind to it, that you can't achieve. And I'm saying that in, the general sense of it. Obviously, if you've got no legs and you want to walk, then obviously you can walk using aesthetic legs. There's nothing wrong with that. So anyway, I digress a little bit because I don't want people thinking that I'm saying, oh, you can be magical and do everything you want. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the goals that you want in your life, you can achieve if you put enough of your vibrations and energy into it to actually achieving it. Now, there's many more of these people out there, but let's get on to the next thing. What is the perfect mindset the average Joe could or should have about developing their skills when it comes to creating happiness? Your mindset to being happy when you're feeling down is what's going to make you become a better person. Now, what I mean by that is when you're feeling down at rock bottom, if you can then bring your mood up even 1 level, 2 levels higher than what it was before, the next time you come to that moment, you know you can start off on that level because you've brought it up. Then you bring it up maybe another level. So every time that you're starting to feel down or unhappy, you can come back to that moment and be like, right, what did I do last time? I felt like this. I changed it like this. Boom. Done. Your mindset's changed again. Then you just keep building up and building up. You'll have less and less unhappy days, and you'll be feeling more happy every day. Now, that's it for today. As a special bonus, I am creating a course on how to reconnect with yourself and find happiness back in your life without worrying about other people's judgments. In the course is a step-by-step process to overcoming obstacles, creating an unbreakable mindset, and much, much more. So, what we've talked about today, it will be inside the course, and it will give you step-by-steps on how to overcome all the obstacles. All you have to do is fill out one question, literally one question on my website, on freedomlifeschool.com/free-live-workshop, and you'll get the experience, the full course for free, which I'll be selling at £150 once released to the public. The reason why it's free is because I want to make sure it has everything in it to give the average Joe the best so they can transform their lives. So, go to the website now, freedomlifeschool.com/free-live-workshop, and you'll experience the course for free by just answering one question, and that's it. So, thanks for today, guys. I really appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and help me grow the channel. Share the video with friends and families, and if you're on one of the podcast platforms, review it so that it helps me grow. That's it for today, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.